Most people who struggle financially are not spending recklessly. They are earning enough. They are aware enough. They have tried enough. Yet every month ends the same way. A quiet shortfall, a number lower than it should be, a plan that almost worked. The instinct is always the same: do more, track more, cut more, try harder. And that instinct is precisely why the problem never gets solved. There is a structural reason why financial overhauls collapse within days. It has nothing to do with motivation. It has nothing to do with income. It lives inside how the brain processes decisions. The financial advice industry has spent decades ignoring this mechanism entirely. What actually works looks almost embarrassingly simple from the outside. But underneath that simplicity is a precise alignment between human neuroscience and spending behavior. This is the architecture of single-focus financial change, and why it quietly outperforms everything else. There is a ritual most people know well, even if they have never named it. A decision is made, usually on a weekend, to finally get the finances under control. Bank statements are pulled, categories are listed. A plan is built that touches groceries, subscriptions, insurance, dining, utilities, and more. The plan feels solid. It is thorough. It covers every visible drain at once. By midweek, nothing has changed. Not one category has actually been addressed. This is not laziness. This is not lack of intent. It is a predictable neurological outcome. Research from Princeton University identified that the prefrontal cortex, the brain region governing decisions and self-control, runs on a finite daily energy budget. Every choice made across a day, large or small, pulls from the same cognitive pool. By evening, after dozens of ordinary decisions, that pool is already depleted. Asking an already depleted brain to simultaneously renegotiate bills, audit subscriptions, and redesign spending habits is not a plan. It is a guaranteed failure condition. Researchers at Columbia University demonstrated this with a simple experiment involving two jam displays, one with 6 options, one with 24. The larger display drew more attention, but shoppers who saw only 6 options were 10 times more likely to actually purchase. More options did not produce better decisions. They produced no decision at all. A budget with 15 active problem categories does not give the brain a starting point. It gives the brain a reason to stop. The immediate cost of a failed budget overhaul is obvious, the savings that did not happen. But there is a second cost that accumulates invisibly and is far more damaging over time. Each failed attempt erodes a person's financial self-image. The fourth attempt at building a budget carries the weight of the previous 3. The fifth carries even more. What began as a spending problem gradually becomes an identity problem, a quiet internal conviction that financial control is simply not available to this particular person. Behavioral economists describe this as learned financial helplessness. The system did not fail once. It failed reliably, repeatedly, under similar conditions. And once a pattern repeats often enough, the brain stops treating it as a problem to solve and starts treating it as a fact about the person. This is why the real obstacle is rarely the budget itself. The real obstacle is the accumulated evidence the brain has been collecting about what happens when budgeting is attempted. Every new overhaul attempt has to fight through that evidence before it can even begin. The system, as it is typically designed, makes this worse with each cycle. Research from the University of Chicago found that people pursuing a single, clearly defined financial goal saved approximately 73% more than those pursuing several goals simultaneously. Not marginally more, nearly double. From the same income, the same expenses, the same circumstances. The mechanism behind this is well documented. When the brain is given one specific target, a filtering system called the reticular activating system shifts into a heightened state of relevance detection. It begins surfacing information and patterns that were previously ignored. not because the information was hidden, but because the brain had not been instructed to prioritize it. This is the same mechanism that makes a person suddenly notice the same model of car everywhere the week after they buy one. The cars were always there. The brain simply had no reason to register them. Narrow financial focus works identically. One target makes previously invisible spending patterns suddenly visible. A second mechanism compounds this effect. Behavioral scientists identify what they call the progress principle, the finding that perceived forward movement is a stronger motivator than the size of the eventual reward. Small wins generate a neurological response. The brain releases dopamine in proportion to the perception of progress. That dopamine lowers resistance to the next action, which creates more progress, which creates more dopamine. When effort is spread across 12 categories with marginal results in each, the brain registers none of it as progress. No win is visible. No dopamine is released. No momentum is built. The cycle stalls. The architecture that resolves this is structurally simple. One expense category, 1 month, full attention. Each month, a single spending category is chosen. That category receives complete focus, tracking, research, renegotiation, and reduction for the entire 30-day window. Every other category is left alone. Not forgotten, not abandoned. Simply not the current target. The following month, a new category takes its place. The previous month's gains are already locked in. Over 6 months, 6 categories have been addressed properly, each one receiving the kind of focused attention that partial effort can never produce. The total savings accumulated through this method can reach over $1,000 per month without any increase in income. The simplicity of this structure is not a limitation, it is the mechanism itself. Every layer of complexity added to a financial system is an additional decision point, and additional decision points are exactly what depletes the cognitive resource that makes financial change possible. To understand what this system produces in practice, it helps to see a realistic 6-month progression with approximate figures. Month 1. Grocery spending. A household spending roughly $800 per month on groceries applies focused attention, meal planning, store brand substitution, bulk purchasing for high-use proteins. End of month, around $620. Savings, over $200. Month 2, subscription audit. A review of all recurring charges typically reveals between 10 and 15 active subscriptions, several of which overlap or go unused. Canceling redundant services and downgrading where possible produces savings of roughly $100 to $130 per month. Month 3. Dining and delivery. Rather than eliminating restaurant spending entirely, which creates deprivation and backslide, the category is restructured around intentional, pre-planned meals with a clear per-occasion budget. Mindless delivery orders are replaced. Savings reach $300 to $400 per month. Month 4. Phone and insurance. A single call to a mobile carrier asking about current loyalty pricing takes 12 minutes and reduces a bill by $20 to $30. Comparison shopping auto insurance with identical coverage often yields $60 to $90 per month in savings. Month 5. Utilities and energy. LED lighting upgrades, thermostat scheduling, and eliminating phantom power draw from always-on electronics produce modest but permanent reductions, typically $50 to $70 per month. Month 6. Banking costs. Moving savings from a near-zero interest account to a high-yield account, eliminating late fees through automated payments, and requesting a lower interest rate on existing credit lines adds $40 to $90 per month in recovered costs and new interest income. After 6 months, the total reduction in monthly outflows reaches approximately $1,000, with no change in income, no elimination of lifestyle, and no unsustainable restriction. There is one failure point that can undo everything the one category system builds, and it is subtle enough that most people do not see it coming. When a category is optimized and spending drops, the recovered money lands in a checking account. Without a deliberate mechanism to move it, that money disappears into the ambient spending of the following weeks. The category was fixed, but the savings were never actually captured. The solution is automatic transfer, executed at the end of each optimization month for the exact dollar amount recovered. $220 saved on groceries becomes a $220 automatic transfer to a separate savings or investment account. $127 recovered from subscriptions becomes a $127 automatic transfer. Not a round number, the precise figure. Because precision reinforces that the money has a specific origin and a specific destination. Research in behavioral economics demonstrates that money held in a labeled, separated account is significantly less likely to be spent than identical money sitting in a general checking account. The psychological category changes how the brain treats the funds, even when the dollar amount is identical. Automation also removes the monthly renegotiation with oneself about whether to transfer, how much, whether this month is an exception. That negotiation is a decision. Decisions cost cognitive energy, and cognitive energy is the resource the entire system is designed to protect. The order in which categories are addressed matters more than it appears. Beginning with the most emotionally loaded category, the one tied to comfort, habit, or identity, increases the likelihood of early failure and the negative self-perception that follows. The correct sequencing principle is not largest savings first. It is lowest resistance first. Subscription audits are almost always the ideal starting point. Most can be addressed in under 30 minutes. The savings appear on the very next billing statement. The win is immediate and visible. That early win is not just a financial outcome. It is neurological evidence that the system works. The brain receives confirmation that focus produces results. That confirmation makes the following month's target feel manageable rather than daunting. Categories requiring more complexity, insurance comparison, debt renegotiation, credit reviews, belong in later months, after the momentum of earlier wins has been established. Monthly savings will vary. Some months will produce large reductions, others will produce modest ones. A month that recovers $60 is not a setback. It is a permanent $60 reduction in monthly outflows, compounding forward indefinitely. The goal of the sequence is not escalation, it is accumulation. Something changes after several months of consistent, single-category optimization that is distinct from the financial outcomes themselves. The accumulated wins begin to rewrite the internal narrative about what kind of person this is. The track record of failure that made each new attempt feel heavier than the last. That track record is being replaced with a different one. Each month that produces a result, however modest, is evidence deposited against the old belief that financial control is unavailable. After 6 months, the evidence has shifted. The identity has shifted with it. This is not a motivational observation. It is a behavioral one. Identity determines default behavior. A person who believes they are bad with money makes spending decisions that confirm that belief. A person who has 6 months of documented financial optimization behind them makes decisions from a different internal reference point. The behaviors that once required constant willpower begin to require less effort, not because they became easier, but because they became consistent with who this person now understands themselves to be. This is the mechanism that financial advice built around discipline and restriction can never access. Restriction fights against identity. Focused optimization gradually builds a new one. The standard model of financial improvement asks for everything at once: complete behavioral overhaul, unlimited willpower, simultaneous management of every drain. That model was never designed around how the brain actually functions. It was designed around how finances look on paper, as if the person managing them were a spreadsheet rather than a human being with finite cognitive resources. The one-category system works because it is calibrated to the actual operating conditions of human decision-making. One target, 30 days, full cognitive bandwidth available, a result captured and locked in before moving forward. It is slow in the way that compounding is slow, imperceptible at first, then structural, then irreversible. The financial architecture that most people are waiting to build through one massive effort is already within reach. It is simply built one layer at a time, one category at a time, in 30-day windows. The month does not have to be perfect. The savings do not have to be large. The only requirement is that one category receives genuine, focused attention, and that what is recovered gets moved somewhere it cannot quietly disappear. That is the entire system. And over time, that system does not just change a bank balance, it changes the person operating it.